That is actually a replica. That was built for the film Warhorse. Who's actually seen Warhorse? Yeah, you've seen that tank, very fleetingly, but it costs a huge amount of money to build. It's in the film for a matter of a couple of minutes. It terrifies the horse, of course, but the important thing about it is it's a very accurate replica. When you're looking at that, you're effectively seeing First World War tank. We can't run ours anymore. We used to run the Mark V up to a few years ago. I was in it the last couple of times it actually ran. But she's got stress cracks in the hull. That old lady's over 100 years old, so she stays there. But we have the replica to show you how the tank moves, how it actually functions. Now, this is a wonderful little tank. Over on my left-hand side, this is an original First World War tank. This is a French Renault FT, built 1917, 1918. Quite an extraordinary little vehicle. Much smaller than the Mark IV. Mark IV weighs 28 tons. This weighs 6.5. Two-man crew, and this one is machine gun armed. There is also a variant that had a 37mm cannon in its turret. In fact, the British Army in particular is the most mechanised of the lot, and we are using an awful lot of motor transport, whether it's tenders or trucks or ambulances. And this Liberty truck is American made, and it's the first truck that is actually designed by the US Quartermaster and approved for US Army service. Up to this point, they've got a whole mass of different vehicles. The Liberty truck is accepted.
Here of this is how to build a tank. Now, our Matilda 1, which is that first type of infantry tank, is leading this procession on at the moment. As you can imagine, it's built in 1938. It's getting on a bit, so we're only going to let it do about a lap or so because it's a delicate vehicle. They built it in a hurry. It's got thick armour on it to stop bullets and the German 37mm anti-tank gun. They get a gearbox from a Fordson tractor. They get the suspension from an earlier vehicle called a Dragon. Driver in the front, you can see with his hatch open there. Commander in the top, radio on the floor of the vehicle. The commander has to drop down if he's going to talk to anyone. And that, as we come round, I'm mentioning this one because we can't let it drive too far. That's our Matilda 1, the first British infantry tank.
Fast, light tanks, speedy, reliable Sherman. None of these are quite going full speed, but these are a lot.
Fatherland, and approaching them is a convoy from the 29th Infantry Division. The 29th landed at Omaha. So these are guys who've got plenty of combat experience. Although, to be honest, a good number are likely to be replacements given the casualties that the 29th have suffered. They're backed up by some light armour, an American M5, tank and a British badge. Germans need to feel. We're going to get a look at the American convoy flight with and Canadian convoy as well. I noticed that yesterday. We have at least one Canuck on there. And again, put yourself into the mind of people whose tank a British flag. These young men invested everything in fighting, not just for their freedom, but for the freedom of people they were never going to meet, in places they were never going to go, necessarily. Right? In America, they talk about the Great Generation. I think it's time, perhaps, we think a moment about that generation who did put their lives on the line to save an entire continent. And here they come. The M5A1. Give them a round of applause. Come on, guys. M4 Sherman. M4A276 Fury. GMC Deuce the Half and the reenactors from History in the Making. There they go. British team. Big at the rear. M4A1 Sherman. Lieutenant, why should it get to you?
In the back, right, this has got a radial engine, a continental radial. You can hear it popping away there. That's got an aeroplane engine in it. For those of the Sherman. Now, was the Sherman a Tommy Cooker? Was it a Ronson? Well, the answer is some of the early ones suffered from problems through poor...
Copied the T-34 that you've already seen. Copied the T-34 and also used much the same design as the Panther, so the armour is sloped. That front plate is sloped back at 50 degrees. That means two things. Firstly, it increases the line of sight thickness. So putting around through that is just
45 to really do the business for us. And as I mentioned, it misses the end of the war by only a few weeks. Operation Sentry, we send the very first program out, and we think we're going to need a gun as big as a 7.2 inch howitzer or 183 millimeters. That is whopping. And in actual fact, this becomes the biggest direct fire gun ever fitted on a tank. And by direct fire, it's not lobbing things over in a distance, point the gun at the target, off it goes. We think we're going to need them for taking on not the T-54s that we know about, and then later the T-55s, that T-10 tank, and whatever the Russians are coming next in their heavy tank program. So they test this new gun, I say to you, it's really developed from a howitzer, 180 feet. So what they're doing is all the oomph behind that, instead of going up in the air, they're going to actually do it directly at a target now. And they test that gun. They've got this amazingly big cast turret and need a bigger gun on the Centurion. This gun, the L7 105mm gun, firing discarding Samo, in other words a slugger.